Hello everyone! Today we will explore the development and importance of science communication in Japan. The 5 students in our group, that 李艺文、林可欣、李婷婷、高雨欣、刘慧阳. We will go through the 5 sentences of historical background, development after World War II, public understanding, changes, initiative, and future exhibition. So, firstly, I will introduce the historical background of science communication in Japan. Since the 16th century, Western science and technology have been introduced to Japan through Portugal and the Netherlands. However, until the mid of 19th century, Japan remained a closed country allowed trade only by the Netherlands, a situation that was broken by the arrival of the U.S. naval expedition in 1953, which forced to open its door to the West, and the Meiji Restoration, which overthrew the Tokugawa shogunate in 1816, marking the beginning of Japan modernization. During this period of transition, modern Western science and technological education was introduced, despite the fact that Japan has its own scientific and technological transition prior to this. Thus, modern science has been interacting with Japan for only 115 years. In actively introducing West science and technology, Japan is devoted to catch up with the surpass the advanced countries, and many believed that if science and technology were placed in the hand of experts, the country would gain progress.
Next, I will introduce the development of Japan's science communication after World War II, focusing on policies and institutions. After the war, the Japanese government firmly positioned science and technology as the foundation of economic recovery. The government has implemented a policy to promote public understanding of science and technology. The policy is called PUST. First, in 1956, the Science and Technology Agency was established, and then in 1958, the agency issued the first white paper on science and technology. This document not only set goals to improve public scientific literacy, but also marked the initial establishment of Japan's science communication system. Driven by the Science and Technology Conference, in 1960, the government clearly stated the need to raise public understanding of science and technology. This marked the official launch of the PUST policy and opened a new chapter in Japan's science communication. To implement the public policy, the government took a lot of communication measures and established relevant institutions. Among these, the National Science and Technology Week stands out. Since 1960, this event has been held regularly, making it one of the earliest of its kind in the world. Additionally, the Japan Science Foundation further promotes the dissemination of scientific knowledge. After years of effort, public interest in science and technology improved. However, by the 1980s, the negative impacts of technologies began to surface, leading to a decline in public interest in science and technology. Despite government efforts to increase public interest through many activities, but surveys such as PISA showed that these measures had limited effectiveness. So in conclusion, the PUST policy highlights the importance of improving public scientific literacy and promote the development of science communication. But however, there were some limitations in it. For example, the approach was one-way communication, neglecting public feedback and participation. Additionally, public concerns about high-risk technologies, such as nuclear energy, were not adequately addressed. So as a result, the government later made changes to its science communication policies.
From the above students' presentations, it is clear that despite Japan's efforts to promote science communication, it is mostly a one-way communication that neglects public feedback and participation. There are still significant challenges in science communication. I will now lead you through the problems encountered in the transformation of science communication in Japan. Firstly, there is a lack of public participation. Japan's official promotion of science communication has failed to shift its focus from traditional one-way information transfer counter understanding to a model of public participation. Secondly, there is a lack of attention to the lessons of history. The failure to adequately reflect past failures and societal problems in dealing with a relationship between science and society has led to a lack of relevance in communication. For example, the lessons learned from industrial pollution and the monsoon endemic, as well as from the construction of a nuclear power plant in the 1970s, as do not inform contemporary decision-making in science communication. In the Fukushima accident, the government failed to respond effectively to a nuclear. It had never faced before and struggled with sharing information and communicating with the public. The holding of data caused public trust in the government and scientists to drop sharply, especially in the early days when evacuation was delayed. The government's efforts to downplay the accident's impact and health risks, hoping to prevent panic, backfired. This hurt the openness and transparency of science communication and weakened public confidence in it. To sum up, although the public started to establish networks to obtain information, the lack of systemic support made the effect of science communication limited.
Next, I will focus on the development of Japan's modern from one-way communication to public engagement, especially the important initiatives and influence of modern science communication in Japan. In 2003, the new concept of two-way communication about science spread among scientific practitioners. In 2004, the Japanese government first introduced the term science communication in a white paper on science and technology, and the third Science and Technology Basis Plan from 2005 announced the promotion of science communication. Since then, modern science communication in Japan has officially changed from one-way communication to public engagement. So, what has Japan done to promote modern science communication? Firstly, the Science Cafe is a good example of the public engagement model. The public can meet scientists face-to-face and discuss scientific issues. Scientists can also listen to questions and feedback from the public, creating an open atmosphere for scientific exchange. Besides, Japan's Science Feature Museum is also an important platform to promote two-way communication. The public can see the most advanced robots and experience various cutting-edge technologies firsthand, which can increase public interest in science and make more people aware of the impact of science and technologies on their daily lives. In addition, Japan has taken other important initiatives such as science and technology festivals, science and technology forums, and science communication training programs. In general, these measures have enhanced the public's scientific literacy, improved the public trust in science, trained a new generation of science communication talents, and promoted the democratization and transparency of science communication.
Next, let's look at the future direction of science communication in Japan. First, in the fifth Science and Technology White Paper, Japan proposed an important concept, Society 5.0. This vision emphasized deeper integration with society through advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence and big data to address issues such as aging, environmental protection, and public health. This concept will bring technology out of the lab and into people's daily lives. So how do we make this happen? The sixth Science and Technology White Paper emphasized that the focus of science communication is shifting to transparency and public participation. This means that science communication should not only convey knowledge but also interact with the public, involve them in the decision-making process of technological development, and establish trust. The future directions include promoting transparency and public participation, cross-disciplinary collaboration, and data-driven decision-making. So finally, looking back at the development of science communication in Japan, we can see that it has gradually shifted from one-way information transmission to a science communication network with more multi-subject participation. This transformation not only reflects the need for technological progress, but also calls for public trust and participation. To conclude, trust is the key The advancement of technology must align with the public needs, especially in today's digital world, where participation is more accessible than ever. Thank you for your attention.